Hello everyone, welcome back to Zuma Fan, and in this video I am going to be giving my thoughts, my review of Paw Patrol the movie, what I thought about it, what I liked and what I didn't like. Um, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, so let's get into it. So, what did I think about Paw Patrol the movie? Well, I can say that it's not amazing, it's not bad, it's fine. It's, nothing mind-blowing. It's really just extremely average for me. Um, yeah, there's really not much I can really say that I can just be like, I didn't love it because there's not enough uh, to love, and I didn't hate it because there's just not enough to hate. The problem with this film is that there's just not enough of anything. The runtime being an hour and 30 minutes definitely leaves a lot to be desired because there's really not much time for anything to develop, to be shown, for anything to really happen. And like within the first 16 minutes, the Paw Patrol are out of Adventure Bay and already going into Adventure City. So like 16 minutes of the movie, they're already in the city. So we don't really get much time with them in Adventure Bay or with any of the other characters that are there. There's just really not enough time for anything. And the characters that do get a lot of time are Humdinger, Liberty, Ryder, Chase, and Rubble. Those are like the only characters that get the amount of runtime in this movie. Rest of the characters do not exist, so don't even bother. Humdinger, I have to say, is probably the best part of this film. He was just absolutely hilarious. I was cracking up like almost 90% of the time when he was on screen. Some jokes that they did with him just got a little bit repetitive because they just kept doing it over and over and over again. Sort of like his hat getting damaged. I thought that was like, oh God, why? But yeah, that was totally fine. But they just kept doing it over and over and over again. Um, I believe Butch and Ruben, I believe those were the names. Those guys were actually pretty fine. Um, yeah, I had to say everything with Humdinger was actually pretty much the best parts of the film. Liberty as the new character was absolutely annoying. I hate her, and she got pretty much more screen time than Chase did, I think, and I hated every single second of it. She was so annoying. She did not know when to shut the hell up, and like I was just getting so frustrated whenever she was on screen. She absolutely ruined this movie, probably more than the time and basically the pacing, really. Um, she was just so annoying, guys. You don't even get it. She just would not shut up. She got more screen time than anybody else in the movie. I couldn't really stand this character. I hated her so much. And she is probably the worst, but Rubble is probably a close second. This character, holy shit. Okay? This character, oh God, man. It's exactly what I worried about. And it turned out to be exactly what I did not want him to be. The kid just he is so damn stupid. He is so damn stupid. And I expected Marshall to be the stupid one in this movie, but no, it was actually Rubble. Because, like I said, there's only a few characters that actually get screen time in this movie, and everyone else just exists. Rubble, eating, hairdo, that's it. There's his character. I mean, the kid had absolutely no concern for anything. His lines were stupid. They're going into the city on the Paw Patrol. He's looking at the city, and he's like, wow, they supersized it. My question is, you've never been anywhere else, so what do you mean? Have you been here before? And if you have been here before, then how come you would think that they supersized it? It's the city. It doesn't look anything different. It's a city, so, what are you expecting? Of course, they supersized it if you're living in Adventure Bay and the little towers and houses are, super small in comparison to that. Come on, man. Don't come at me with this stupid dialogue. Please don't do it. Rubble was annoying. I hated him. I hated Liberty. Those two characters pretty much ruined everything. And, God, man, they get more screen time than anybody else. Chase, I think he had an arc. I'm not really sure what I can call it because really nothing's happened. His character really does not change whatsoever. He's the same at the beginning of the movie as he is at the end of the movie. I've had many debates about this, but is just totally true. He starts off as the hero. He goes there. He's like depressed at first a little bit. Then he forgets about his depression. Then he's back to being depressed again. Then he forgets about it. Then back again. And then he's the hero again. It's like, nothing's changed. It's not like it strengthens the bond between him and Ryder. It's exactly the same as it was in the beginning. So Chase really does not change, and it really does not matter. I have no idea why they had to throw the whole Chase's history into this movie, because it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. So what's the point? I don't get it. So, I mean, yeah, Chase really he doesn't do anything, and Chase is like supposed to be the main character. Nothing happens. So I really don't understand the point of this character. Ryder was actually pretty good. I did like that they tried to do something that the show has totally forgotten about, that he's supposed to be more like the father figure in the group. I like the fact that they went back to, doing that in this movie, even though I don't think it was the best version of Ryder. But I think that this might be the second for me. He was actually pretty good in this movie. I liked his gear. It's just that he really didn't have much time in this movie. And that's the problem with a lot of this stuff. There's just no time. The plot is very generic, and the Cloudcatcher was actually pretty cool. I did like its design. I like the sounds that it made. But, I don't know if it was really truly needed, but, then again, plot. So, how did I think the voice acting was? I thought the voice acting for some of the characters was pretty good. All celebrities that they brought in outside of Kim Kardashian, I thought actually did a pretty great job of, with what they had. Yeah, Humdinger was obviously the best, but I thought everyone that played the Paw Patrol themselves were awful. Chase's voice actor was terrible. Like, he could not convince me over the emotions whatsoever, outside of like one thing he said where he was hanging upside down next to a burning building. I think he did a good job there in convincing me that he was terrified to burn to death or something like that. But for most of the time, like, they did not do a good job whatsoever. And I was really expecting some really good voice acting in this movie, but I was wrong. And about everyone else, the rest of the Paw Patrol, forget them. They don't exist. Sky gets more screen time than everyone else, but as I said, even though that's the case, Rubble and Liberty have more screen time than everybody. So Sky's really forgotten about. She has no personality outside of she flies. Marshall, Chase, Rocky, Zuma, pretty much everyone has like nothing to do in this movie. I was really shocked. They had like one good scene where Chase is walking after he's trying to sleep but he can't sleep, and there's like this cool song playing, and it was actually pretty nice. I that was like the only part of the movie where I felt like that was actually like truly part of a movie. Like, it felt like that this was actually like in a movie, because most of the movie just felt like a higher animated, Paw Patrol episode. But that one scene where he's trying to sleep but he can't, that was actually really good, and I was expecting at least one of the members to come over to Chase and talk to him, but we had no time because we had to go to Liberty. So, yeah, like I said, there's really nothing. Rocky was there. He had remarkably horrible dialogue, like green means go, right? And ride 'em cowboy. I know, like, these are very small things to people, and it really doesn't really matter, but it was just absolutely awful for me, a real pain. Marshall got nothing to do outside of stopping fires, but that's really it. He has nothing else to do. He barely talks. I think he had like 3 lines of dialogue in the whole movie. Zuma has a cool scene, although the voice actor doesn't really do it justice, and his face sort of looks weird. In certain places, like, his face looks good, and then in another shot, his face is like out of proportion or something. Like, I don't know. But the animation was absolutely fantastic in this movie. But, some things are really holding this movie back, and I think that really goes to the time. It's an hour and 30-minute movie, and they had to cram so much shit into this movie. It was absolutely crazy, and it was really hard to follow. I think on rewatches it will get easier to follow, but when I was in the theater, I was like, what the hell is going on? Can this movie take a break? But it can't because of the runtime. So I really do more or less blame Nickelodeon and Spin Master for whatever I hated in this movie, more than I do Buckner and the writers and the animators and stuff like that. They really did try their absolute best with the amount of money that they had and the runtime that they were given. Um, but overall, this movie was boring in a lot of places. Characters had absolutely nothing to do. A lot of the characters seem ignorant of Chase's fears and anxiety of being in the city. Barely talk to him, and they barely talk themselves. Humdinger got all the cool stuff. But yeah, this movie is just very average. Really nothing special. I've seen much better kids movies, and yeah, that's basically my thoughts on the Paw Patrol movie. From 1 to 10, I'm going to give this movie a 4. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you later.